A few days ago, Tesla shared that official production of the Cybertruck had begun at Gigafactory Texas, and now we have more exciting details into that start of production from comments that Elon Musk recently made and from images that Tesla shared of the Cybertruck production area in their investor update letter. In addition, a new image recently leaked out, which has led some to believe that the Cybertruck front trunk might actually be smaller than expected. So follow along with me as I discuss these Cybertruck updates. I'm John, and this is Cleanerwatt. First of all, during Tesla's Q2 2023 conference call, we learned that the production of the Cybertruck that has begun at Gigafactory Texas is for release candidates. They haven't yet finalized everything for production, but they are producing release candidates, which is a great sign. But excitingly, in their investor update letter, they did share these two images of the Cybertruck production area of Gigafactory Texas. In this first image, you can see the Cybertruck body on the left side, which is covered in gray, and most likely that's to conceal the final design because these are release candidates and there is a possibility of very, very small changes happening between a release candidate and the final production. Most details are very likely locked in, but I imagine there will be a few small tweaks and they're not ready to reveal the exact final design just yet. Also notice in this image that the red lift that is holding up the Cybertruck frame does look very similar to a frame that is shown holding up the Model Y upper frame in this Tesla video clip, which is being lowered down upon the structural battery pack, floor, and seat assembly. So it's expected that the Cybertruck will feature 4680 batteries in a structural battery pack, and that first image seems to be partial confirmation of this, but also the second image also seems to provide further evidence of this because if you see there, release candidate number 1, that frame there, the Cybertruck frame and front structures there in that front part of the picture there, you can see that like the Model Y with a structural battery pack, the Cybertruck frame doesn't appear to have a floor, but rather the structural battery pack will serve as the vehicle floor, and likely the seats of the Cybertruck will be attached in a similar manner on top of the battery pack structural area there, just like the standard range all-wheel drive Model Y, which once again has a structural battery pack. Beyond the structural battery pack, the Cybertruck should also uniquely feature a stainless steel exoskeleton. The exoskeleton of the Cybertruck, as I mentioned previously, should allow for an impressive payload capacity of up to 3,500 pounds if those numbers stay the same from what Tesla officially announced. For reference, the F-150 Lightning has a payload capacity of up to 2,235 pounds for the standard range version and up to 1,952 pounds for the extended range version. When it comes to this exoskeleton design, an image was shared on Twitter, or should we say X now, by @Tesla Truck Club. And in this image, you can see the sides of two Cybertruck frames. And these frames look very similar to the underneath structural portions of, say, like a Model Y. And this has led some to wonder about the exoskeleton design that Tesla talked about when they unveiled the Cybertruck. Now, I don't believe these images negate the fact that the Cybertruck still will have an exoskeleton, and I believe that the Cybertruck exterior stainless steel skin will still act as an extra reinforcement in addition to the more traditional structural components that can be seen underneath. Notice how the Tesla website specifically describes structural skin, and as I've given this more thought, it's very possible that this is the way Tesla originally envisioned this happening, with the underneath structure being somewhat normal, but that extra layer, that exterior structural skin, adding that extra layer of support, which allows the Cybertruck once again to very likely have a payload capacity that could be up to 1,000 pounds more than the F-150 Lightning. Now, the fact that Elon referred to the Cybertrucks that are being produced at Gigafactory Texas as release candidates, that's of course a great sign because previously in Tesla's Q1 2023 investor conference call, which was held on April 19th of this year, Elon had referred to building alpha versions of the Cybertruck. So Tesla's move from building alpha versions in April to building release candidates here in July, that's a big jump and puts us one step closer to customer deliveries. When it comes to the timing of the first customer deliveries, I know there's a lot of anticipation for these first deliveries. But first of all, we can go to comments that Elon Musk has made in the past. Like, for instance, in Tesla's Q1 2023 conference call, Elon specifically mentioned a possible date of a delivery event in Q3 of this year. However, in the more recent Q2 2023 conference call, Elon was not quite as specific and just mentioned his prediction that they still will deliver the first Cybertrucks this year. Beyond these comments from Elon Musk, I believe we can look at how long it took Tesla to go from building release candidates of the Model 3 to actually delivering the first vehicles to customers. I believe we can take a look at that timing there and use that as a rough estimate as to when we might expect Tesla to be delivering the first Cybertrucks. The reason I specifically pick the Model 3 here and not like, say, the Model Y is because the Model 3 was really a big change for Tesla. It was their first truly high volume vehicle, and they had some struggles. And the Cybertruck, while there are a lot of things that they've gotten a lot better at, and I don't expect Tesla to have as much struggles as they did with the Model 3 production ramp, we do know that Tesla is using new processes in manufacturing, for instance, for the Cybertruck exoskeleton. So for instance, if you look at this Electrek article from March of 2017, apparently at that time, Elon Musk started referring to the Model 3 prototypes that were being built as release candidates. Then this Electrek article from July of 2017 mentions specifically that the Model 3 delivery event would be held on July 28th. So if you look at the time elapsed between sometime in March and near the end of July, that was over 130 days, up to 149 days, depending on which day you start there in March, which is roughly 4 to 5 months. So because of this, if you go 4 to 5 months from today, that puts us in the fourth quarter of this year. And very likely, in my opinion, we won't see a delivery event for the Cybertruck before November of this year. Also, it's important once again to remember that the initial ramp up of the Cybertruck, even if it goes smoothly, it's going to be a little bit slow. That's just how production ramps are. And this is something that Elon Musk once again reiterated in their Q2 2023 investor conference call, where he made statements about the supply chain and all the parts that were needed to build the Cybertruck. He also made it very clear that the Cybertruck has somewhere around 10,000 unique parts and processes. So it's a very complicated thing to build a vehicle like the Cybertruck. And when it comes to the Cybertruck ramp, Elon Musk did remind us once again that the ramp will go as fast as the least lucky element of the production process. So we need to keep our expectations realistic for this year. But once again, next year, 2024, should be a big year for Cybertruck production, and hopefully Tesla will be able to ramp these up very quickly. There's, of course, a ton of demand for the Cybertruck, and Tesla should be able to sell every Cybertruck they can build for quite some time. Beyond all that, Elon Musk did make some very important comments in the conference call about the size of the Cybertruck. Elon specifically mentioned, quote, "This is the first truck that we're aware of that will have 4 doors, over a 6-foot bed, and fit into a 20-foot garage." Elon then went on to talk about how they really focused in on the exterior size of the Cybertruck and really wanted to hit a sweet spot, not making the Cybertruck too big to make it impractical, say, for instance, to fit in a 20-foot garage, but also to maximize the utility and interior volume of the truck. So the Cybertruck should allow for a lot of space on the inside, but not be too large on the outside. So this should make the Cybertruck very practical and maybe a little bit easier to drive around, and once again, able to fit in a 20-foot garage. Now, when it comes to the final dimensions of the Cybertruck, we of course don't have all those numbers specifically, but Matthew Donegan Ryan, who goes by @MatthewDR on Twitter, or should we call it X now, Ryan tweeted out this chart comparing the Cybertruck dimensions of a prototype to an F-150 Raptor. And I've taken those dimensions and added a few other trucks to this list. And you can see there that the length of the Cybertruck, that prototype Cybertruck, was a bit under 20 feet, 19.25, which is a little bit shorter than the Ford F-150 Lightning, the Ford Raptor, and the Ram TRX. Despite this though, the Cybertruck rear bed should be just a bit over 6 feet long. According to Matthew Donegan Ryan's estimates here, 73 inches is the length with the tailgate up. And as you can see, if this is the case, that'll make the Cybertruck bed longer than the Ford F-150 Lightning, Rivian R1T, Hummer EV truck, Ford Raptor, and Ram TRX. Now, beyond the rear bed of the Cybertruck, when it comes to the front trunk of the Cybertruck, of course, the competition, the Ford F-150 Lightning, has a huge front trunk with 14.1 cubic feet of volume. However, once again, the Ford F-150 Lightning rear bed is shorter than the Cybertruck, nearly 6 inches. And likely when we get the final dimensions of the Cybertruck, the F-150 Lightning will be around 2 inches longer than the Cybertruck, somewhere around there. So it appears like there's more room in the F-150 Lightning, for instance, for a larger front trunk. I hope the Cybertruck has a very large front trunk, but it might be a little bit smaller than the F-150 Lightning. Now, on this topic, John Anderson on Twitter, or should I call it X, published this image with the Cybertruck front trunk open, and you can see that there's no plastic liner here. And from this angle, it has led some to believe that the front trunk of the Cybertruck might be smaller than expected. However, angles can be deceiving, and really we are kind of far away at a strange angle here. And just because it doesn't look very big from this angle doesn't mean that it won't be. In addition, Tesla has gone to the trouble of making a slight tweak to the design of the way the front hood opens up. And you can see there that, like the F-150 Lightning, the front light bar section is connected to that front hood. So when you open that up, it does allow for like a flat, easier access design into the front trunk. So obviously Tesla is thinking about the front trunk design. So I don't believe that Tesla would go to the trouble of doing this if they were going to have a very small front trunk. I do expect that the Cybertruck front trunk will be a little bit smaller than the Ford F-150 Lightning, but nonetheless, I believe the Cybertruck will still have a very nice sized front trunk, a very usable front trunk. While it may not be as large as the Ford F-150 Lightning, Tesla is keeping the truck once again under 20 feet long, which I believe is more important than 2 or 3 or 4 cubic feet of front trunk space. Do let me know what you think about all this in the comments section below. I'd love to hear from you. And also, once again, I'd like to say thank you to all of those of you who support me through Patreon. Your support makes a big difference and really does help make these videos possible. If you'd like to find out more about how you can support my work through Patreon, I will put a link in the video description. Thank you so much.